Does the rise and fall of nations hinge on the balance of power, or is it a question of survival in an increasingly complex geopolitical landscape? This thought seems all too pertinent when we cast our gaze on the recent Israel Hamas war. The conflict began in earnest in early 2023, with Hamas launching rockets into central Israel. The Israeli forces responded swiftly, escalating into a full-scale war. As the conflict intensified, the world watched with bated breath, the human cost mounting with each passing day. By October of the same year, President Joe Biden had expressed unwavering support for Israel, despite facing criticism from various quarters. He denounced Hamas for their attack on Israel and committed to sending additional ammunition and military assistance. His wartime visit to Israel was marked by a comparison of the Hamas attack to the devastating 9/11 event, a statement that stirred controversy and further heated the global conversation. Meanwhile, the war left a trail of devastation in Gaza. More than 17,000 Palestinians lost their lives, mostly civilians, and widespread destruction led to severe food insecurity. Amid the chaos, Ahmed Surani, founder of the Gaza Urban and Peri-Urban Agriculture Platform, emerged as a beacon of hope. His non-profit organization aimed to promote local food production and support women-owned businesses, many of which had been destroyed during the war. By December, a glimmer of hope emerged as Hamas's top leader, Ismail Haniyeh, traveled to Cairo for talks on the war. The indirect talks mediated by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States were aimed at securing another ceasefire and the release of hostages held by Hamas in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. Yet the reality on the ground remained grim. Mobile phone and internet service in Gaza were down, complicating communication. Shortages of food, medicine, and basic supplies were rampant, leading to a humanitarian crisis. The death toll in Gaza continued to rise, with the health ministry reporting over 19,600 deaths since the start of the war. In conclusion, the recent Israel-Hamas war has highlighted the fragile nature of peace in a world fraught with political tensions. This conflict, marked by an escalating death toll and humanitarian crisis, has shown us the human cost of war. It's also underscored the importance of diplomatic efforts in resolving conflicts, as seen in the indirect talks mediated by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States. Yet, even as we delve into the details of this war, we are left with more questions than answers. Can there be a simple resolution to such complex conflicts? How can nations navigate the intricate maze of geopolitics without compromising on the safety and well-being of their citizens? These are questions that continue to shape our world and our understanding of it. The past week has seen a flurry of activity on the Israel-Hamas front. Following the ceasefire that was brokered last month, both sides have been working to maintain a fragile peace. However, tensions continue to simmer beneath the surface, threatening to reignite the conflict at any moment. In terms of the ceasefire talks, there seems to be a stalemate. While the Hamas leadership is pushing for a complete lift of the blockade on Gaza, Israel insists on the return of 2 Israeli civilians and the bodies of 2 soldiers held by Hamas since 2014. Political figures from around the world continue to weigh in on the situation. US President Joe Biden has reiterated his support for Israel's right to defend itself, while also expressing concern for the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Hamas, on the other hand, has called for international community's intervention to pressure Israel into lifting the blockade. On the ground, the situation remains tense. In Gaza, the rebuilding process is underway, but progress is slow due to the blockade. In Israel, the threat of rocket attacks still looms large, keeping the population on high alert. As we move forward, it's clear that the path to peace is fraught with challenges. The world watches with bated breath, hoping for a resolution that ensures justice and dignity for all parties involved.